And welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast, a ghost cult joint. Of course, I am Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical. I'm joined by my good friend, a man with all of the balls, I'm just going to throw my stuff all over your lovely sitting room, Keefy Chutzpah. How we doing today, buddy?
Fun fact. I might have got the thing correct finally. Fun fact. The very first review that I ever received said that I had a lot of chutzpah.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, everyone, for our Keefy's St. Louis style review and our Metallica double set review. As we do this each week, we have a greeting done. Beer check next. Vinyl check coming soon. News check. Excuse me. Bagel bites are still. I just. What? Whoa! Keefy changed this. I'm on the other side. No. Put it back. No. No. I'm on the other. Thank you. Keefy changed the screen and had me on the other side. That confused the shit out of me. Where was I? Greeting, beer, vinyl, shirt, news, meat. Meat is all the business. It's going to be most of the business. As we do each week, it's a new podcast, so it's time for a new beer. This week I have Four Hands Brewing Title Imperial IPA. Finger fudge pour down the middle. Down the middle, Paul.
We saw none of the pour.
I know.
That's okay. I'm gonna see my pour. I am drinking a beer I have had on the podcast before. Talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I have one of the last remaining ever Anchor beers. So I have an Anchor steam beer with my keychain opener. Get the pop on the bottle. Come on. Sort of a fizzle.
Did it hit the microphone? Did the bottle cap hit the mic? Okay. Explains that noise.
Like a champagne cork. Here is my Glacially Musical poured glass. You like that poured glass?
I should have been using that.
And now I'm going to pour the finger fudge pour it. Even though it's in a glass bottle and I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
I'm still going to.
No. You still need to, because the reason why you pour it into a glass rather than drinking it directly from it, a little bit of beer sommelier business. It's so that way you get the aroma of the beer along with the taste of the beer. However, if you're drinking piss water American lager, don't do any of this.
Nick, the gatekeeper of beers.
Not gatekeeping. I got a story about gatekeeping, though.
Can we cheers?
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Good to see you again. It's like I just saw you in person.
Look. Jury's out. And it was $14 for a 4-pack, so hope the jury comes back in with a good verdict.
Glad it wasn't my $14.
No, the other great $14 was the Voltron Green Lion. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's bad.
The can got dinged up coming home, but I love the can. The beer, not so much.
That beer's... I drank another one last night. It's awful.
God. Oh, no.
I can't not drink it, which makes me feel...
I mean, sometimes we've had a couple of beers that are just undrinkable, but like...
It happens. So, the elephant in the room, which is not even really an elephant, of course, is Keefy was here last week. We're going to get into all of the cool St. Louis stuff we did here momentarily. Before that, let me just announce publicly, I sold my house. The house I have been working on for the past 18 months officially has been sold. I no longer own it. So it's bittersweet, and you won't hear any more about it for the rest of the podcasts ever.
I find that impossible to believe. I will tell you, it was a cute house, and I was glad to, even though it was bittersweet and maybe even painful for you and the missus, lawyer wife, I did enjoy spending the last few hours there with you and her. And probably my favorite part of the entire trip, including Metallica, was Lord of the Rings beer and commentary night.
It was nice to have somebody to riff off of. She appreciates my commentary, but hates it at the same time because she knows how right I am about how terrible those movies are.
Stop it.
Well, will not. All right, vinyl check. I got a twofer this week. A couple weeks ago, the kiddo and I went out to buy some records. Ooh, pretty sure she was with me. We just, every now and again, when you have 1,200 records, sometimes you got to make a circuit to find something. I picked up a couple of things that week. First one is Styx Crystal Ball, which cannot believe I did not have. It's got Put Me On, Mademoiselle, Crystal Ball, of course, and some other songs I had never heard of. Already in the mylar, all good to go. Keefy knows, but the rest of you don't. I'm actually out of mylar sleeves until now, but what Keefy doesn't know is until Saturday. I ordered some more today, and I ordered a few amazing records today after the house sold and after everything went through. I did choose, and I told the kid, yeah, I bought some records before we left, and she goes, you didn't, did you? I'm like, what? You didn't buy the $400 record, right? I did not buy Motley Crue self-titled. It was even approved. It was, there was no pushback apart from, really? That's what you're going to do. 400. I did not purchase it. I have decided that they will eventually repress it and I'll be able to get it reasonably priced. But too much anxiety. I didn't know if it'd be counterfeit. I wouldn't be able to tell. Does it even sound good? I mean, it might sound like a fart on a snare drum. I don't know. So, but anyway, I digress. The other record I got that day was a Jimi Hendrix record. As I believe I've mentioned before, my favorite Jimi Hendrix records are the ones that came out after he died, before Experience Hendrix took over. Because they're just so weird. And it's more along the lines of what I want out of Jimmy. But this only has 5 songs. 9 to the Universe, Jimmy / Jam. It's got Jim McCartney, Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell, Roland Robinson. Side 2, Young Hendrix, Easy Blues, which is on People, Hell, and Angels, this actual cut, and Drone Blues. Both of these, this one was Jimmy was $18 and Styx was $8. So $25 for the pair.
Very cool. Every time we mention mylar sleeves, inners and outers, we should mention that in the description of this video and podcast is a link to buy the exact mylar sleeves Nick and I use on our collections. And that helps the podcast if you buy them.
They're actually on sale right now on Amazon. I got 50 for $14.
That's insane. It's like $9 off usually what I pay. Mm-hmm. Again, use our link in the description and you get a discount and we get a discount and you sing one and I sing one and I think you know the words.
Hey, you take the high road and I'll take the low road and we'll meet in the middle.
I was going to do knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Please don't.
I'm in a silly-ass mood, but I got this awesome Glacially Musical glass. How'd I get this glass, Nicholas?
Keefy was in town and I finally gave it to him instead of, shipping it to him like I said I would.
Was it weird? Was it weird meeting me in person? I guess we can save this for later, but
Yes, it was.
It's very weird making a friend on the internet and then hanging out with you in real life. And that could be anybody. I don't mean you specifically. You're one.
No, it totally is. No, I've done it too many times, but no, it totally is.
And didn't get murdered. That's awesome.
Hey, and as near as I can tell, I haven't checked all of them. As near as I can tell, you didn't steal any of my records. So
none of your records, none of the spoons, nothing. Just
you could have still
tempted to put that one cat in my suitcase, but I definitely wouldn't have got it all the way through.
That airport. Was the kid's cat.
Goose. Goose is the one that seemed to like me the most.
That's the kid's cat.
Well, I'm not going to hurt the kid by taking the cat. I wouldn't hurt.
Well, she wants to steal my cat though.
Well, that's just entirely possible. So, I have a vinyl check. I don't know what to do with my 2 hands that have this Metallica stuff on it, but foreshadowing.
Hang on, let me check my watch. Poof.
Is this the vinyl? No, this isn't the vinyl. Something else Metallica, but not the vinyl.
Oh, I didn't know you got that.
What could the vinyl be? Yeah, that was when I got the tote bag, which I also have, but it's not in reach to show. But look what I got finally. Dun, 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 dun. And where did I get it? Where did I get it? Where did I get it? It might be written all over my body. Where did I get this album?
Quick sidebar. Quick sidebar. I'm taking the kid out because she has done an amazing job, and she has worked and produced so far above her ken, because she's 12, on the last few years, or last couple of years, and I am so thrilled. So I'm going to take her all over, and I said, "Do you want to go to Vintage Vinyl?" She said, "Vintage, yeah, Vintage Vinyl." Apparently, I'm saying it wrong. Am I saying it wrong? I don't think I'm saying it wrong.
I mean, sort of. Sort of wrong.
No, everyone else is wrong.
So, Death Magnetic repress. That sounds good, apparently. Thanks to Nick, I finally got it at Vintage Vinyl. I believe it was $25, which is very reasonable because it was more on the Metallica website plus shipping, which I did not do, even with the sale they recently had. Fitting that I should buy this record, the one in my collection that I wanted, I don't have, in St. Louis while getting ready to see them. In between shows, actually. Pretty cool.
I told you it sounded better on vinyl, and that's one of the few records that unequivocally sounds better because it's not compressed. And that's what everybody said when they heard the songs on Guitar Hero versus the songs on CD. It was compressed.
There you go. There you go. Shirt check, news check, or news check, shirt check?
Shirt check. Mr. Flipple is cross with you.
You've worn that before, I believe, a long time ago. It's a good one.
I love Mr. Flipple.
Mr. Flibble. Boom, boom, boom. I am wearing, surprise, surprise, this very pastel-y Vintage Vinyl shirt.
It's awfully purple. That's like Kirk purple.
It's actually kind of pinkish to me, but maybe it's purple. I love purple. It's not quite that purple. It feels a lilac to me, but I'm not a Pantone color book. But yeah, I got my Vintage Vinyl shirt at Vintage Vinyl when I got that vinyl. Vintage Vinyl, I think, was my favorite of the three stores, although they all had their merits where they were excellent.
Let's let's quickly do the news check. Yeah. I have one bit of news that's going to be quick, and I'm going to shut up. Kiss has announced their final show ever on 12/2 is going to be on pay-per-view. In the United States, you can pay the princely, reasonably-ish sum of $39.99 for a stream and a replay. I'm going to take a hard pass on this one personally, because I don't need to see this show.
It's going to be leaked all over the internet anyway. Does not matter. You don't need to buy it.
I'm still not going to watch that.
What's the Vegas odds that Ace and Peter are allowed to come play?
8,465 to -6.
Those are not odds, but I know what you mean by that.
I don't know how to do odds.
Yeah, clearly. You're the salesperson. I figured you're good at math. I'm terrible at math, despite all my training.
I know how to put 20% on something and cash my commission check.
No, that's good. 20%. Holy shit.
What?
I'm in the wrong business, people.
20% is low.
Oh.
I shoot for 30.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, don't.
Business secrets.
No, it's fine. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened this week. I don't know how much of it is relevant.
Just do a quick one. Just pick one and do a quick one.
It's so hard to just pick one. There's we'll keep it Metallica. My video of the Metallica pop-up shop was just shared on blabbermouth.com as a news story. My video, along with somebody else's video, by the way, but who put theirs up before me, but they at least put up mine. So that was nice, and I got a little bump from it. I've already got like 700 views, which is a lot for, kind of a news story. Content is fun. That's why I'm glad we went out of our way to go do it.
Got my steps in that day.
You did. You sure did. We sure have walked across town, boy.
That wasn't, I mean, you should see me on like vacation walking. On vacation walking, I can go 5, 6, 7, 8 miles a go. Nice. No other time in my life, but at that time, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a thing that happened. And, I mean, there's some other stuff beside the, I want to say, What was the thing that was also announced today? Crazy.
I don't know.
Train
I was just watching my phone all day looking for a text message.
from me.
No, the realtor.
Okay.
I I don't know who I am anymore.
Have you ever seen the movie Wanted?
No, who's in it?
Morgan Freeman, Angelina Jolie, and Professor Xavier from the new X-Men movies.
Oh, the Scottish guy.
Is he Scottish?
Brewing.
He's British, not
No,
Scottish.
he's Scottish. He's Scottish.
The young guy?
Yes,
No.
100%.
Okay. Not Ewan McGregor, not
When
Ian
he
McKellen and
When he hosted
Patrick
Saturday
Stewart.
Night, when he hosted Saturday Night Live,
He's British, dude.
he
I
said
mean,
it's
technically Scottish is British, by the way, but
no,
that's
it is
a whole nother
not.
story.
Scottish is UK. He said it's everybody thinks I'm British, and it's nice to be able to use my real accent for a change.
Okay.
And then they did an entire skit about his accent, and it was hysterical.
Oh, let's talk about this important thing. Here's the most important news story of the week, beside me and you meeting in person and the Earth not unmaking itself, thus negating all existence. We did not pass under the arch. The Metatron is the voice of the one true God. Jay Weinberg was quit or fired. I think dismissed from Slipknot. This is major news.
We'll call it quired.
I don't know what it was. Chopped in half. He was. It seemed like it was kind of done badly. They played their last show at a festival, their last show of the year. He posted like how awesome the tour and festival thing was this year. They had kind of broken up their touring. He's in a flow. He's been doing a lot of appearances, a lot of charity stuff, and then Slipknot put up a post that is extremely sus, as your kid would say. We're splitting with Jay after 9 years because of creative differences. Creative differences is code words for get the hell out. It's not creative. This guy's one of the greatest drummers in the whole world. So, a lot of people are doom and glooming Slipknot. However, Slipknot is one of the most successful bands and enterprises in the world. Nick's lost his camera. I'm going to keep talking. Can you mute yourself if you're going to make noise and do silly shit?
Sorry.
God. You need a kill button because like this is problematic for me. See, if we had just recorded this in person, wouldn't have mattered. One view. But like while I'm talking, the camera keeps going back to you because you're jostling around and it's
I apologize. That
super
was not the
irritating.
intent. I know. I'm sorry. I'll mute it
I'm
next
gonna buy
time.
you a mute button soon.
I can just...
Anyway, I'm shocked by this news. I'm shocked to see him go. It's very possible they already have their replacement picked out. They have some shows early next year, some festivals already announced. Big festivals were announced this week, like tons of festivals, including Download and Welcome to Rockville, some of the biggest festivals in the whole world. Milwaukee Metal Fest is coming back. So, surprising news. We did Slipknot recently, also in the departures department of a series we did recently. Brett Purgeson, a.k.a. Pustulus Maximus of Gore, quit the band after 11 years. So bands we do a series on have a bad luck continuity of keeping people together, but a band we did do a series on has just signed a new record deal. Fireball Ministry has signed to Ripple Music. I sent you the story. And it's for reissues, which sucks because we just bought all the albums.
I only bought one.
Well, I bought most of them except the EP. Maybe they're going to reissue that. That would be fun. And maybe new music in the next few years. And you know, Ripple does compilations and they do tribute albums and things. So
When we interviewed Emily, she said maybe.
she said maybe new music. So I want new music from them more than anything. I have the records now. There's no improving some of these vinyl reissues. So, but I'm happy for them. Could be mine.
I have the self-titled, and it's great pressing. Oh, did you see my glass?
Why do you have a Pro Football Hall of Fame glass? I thought you don't like football. You would disparage football the whole time I was there.
I love football.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
You hate the NFL.
Correct.
You love soccer. You don't love football.
No, I love football and football.
Can you say it like Max Cavalera? Football. And I'm coming with the fire.
No, I
Oompa
don't.
booba
I don't.
roomba
I
ba
do not.
ba ba.
One, Max Cavalier speaks Portuguese. I don't speak
He
Portuguese.
speaks broken Portuguese.
He speaks Portuganglish. I don't know.
Portuganglish. Portuspanglish.
Two, one of the things that people who don't watch soccer say all the time is they say, "We're gonna watch some football," and I'm like, "What? What? Don't say that, please. Don't say that. That's so stupid." And in Portuguese, in Portuguese, it's football, and that's even worse. Don't, I mean, no one should say that ever. Portuguese people stop saying that.
So we just had three news stories on bands we have covered on the podcast recently. Please, nobody from Cannibal Corpse leave the band, and nobody else, and obviously Metallica. That's my news. I have nothing else.
Fair enough. Let's move on into the weekend. I will just kind of set this up. You ever meet somebody that you've known and you just have no idea how the fudge is going to go? Well, that was the weekend. Take that however you want. And so Keefy's
Jesus.
flight, what?
That feels negative.
Does it feel negative? No,
Kinda
it feels
negative.
It's anxious. It's anxious.
All
It's anxious making.
All right.
Not negative. I'm not being contrarian. Anywho, so Keefy's flight arrives at 11:30 or some stupid, ridiculous time. Thankfully, I changed my schedule so I could work remotely. We basically hung out all day while I worked. Thankfully, it was slow. Then we went down to Metallica. Here's the worst part about that. I'm never going to hear the end of this. My wife always says when we go downtown for a show or a blues game, let's find a meter. And I'm like, the doors opened at 4. We're leaving at 5. We're not going to find a meter. Well, I'll be damned. We found a stupid meter. So then we went to the show. We'll get back to that. And then the next morning, we had basically 2 days to play. So we had, well, a day and a half, really. So we had Saturday, and Saturday was a complete and total play day. And frankly, I don't remember much after 7 p.m., and I'm fine with that. But it started off with meeting up with friend of the show, Danny Nichols, down at one of my favorite breakfast eateries, the Courtesy Diner. Due to having to go pick up some meds at a different CVS, we couldn't go to the one I wanted to go to, but the CVS Diner is CVS Diner, listen to me. The Courtesy Diner is still the best place in St. Louis to get what for breakfast, Keefy? Now that you know.
Slinger.
The Slinger, not a slider. A slider is a different thing. So, I made Keefy eat the St. Louis tradition. In case you're wondering what a slinger is, if you've never heard, we talked about it earlier, I believe, but a slinger is hash browns covered in eggs, covered in burger, covered in chili, covered in cheese, covered in onions, and then I get mine topped with jalapenos, because you know what, I just want to burn my butt, and then I dump a bunch of Tabasco sauce all over it, just for good measure. So, talk about that, I think.
The Slinger was delicious, but I will honestly say that after a few hours, the chili was disagreeing with me.
Oh, yeah. It's
but-
not, I should mention, it's not homemade chili. That is frozen chili that they buy at Schnucks.
Here, I found out, well, don't spill your beer on your computer. That would be a disaster. Schnucks is not some dude that's disparageable. Schnucks is a supermarket in the area named for some dude named Schnuck.
E.H. Schnook, he's also got his own bourbon whiskey.
Oh, shit.
E.H. Schnook's bourbon whiskey.
That's on brand for us. I did not have I should have the Metallica whiskey today on top of everything else. And we didn't have whiskey on the trip. But
no, as I said on Friday, unsupervised whiskey usually involves me apologizing.
Making a public statement. And now coming to the podium is Nick's public relations expert, Allie. The statement we're making today on behalf of Mr. Cameron is X. So, first of all, everything you've heard about St. Louis is not true. St. Louis is lovely. People were lovely. Everywhere we went, everyone was nice, safe, clean. Granted, the experience, as Nick would say, was curated.
Very curated.
Safer parts of town, but I found it to be extremely enjoyable.
I should point out, for 80% of the day, the only times we left the city were for Courtesy, which if we gone to the other one, it would have been exactly the same. Because that's the one I go to. And for the 2 of the record stores, because 2 of the record stores were in the county. We just I wanted to take Keefy to the record stores with the largest metal selections. I thought that was the way to go.
And you succeeded, double horns. But I just want to say that everybody was lovely. The service was amazing. I tried to squeeze my fat self into a booth. Nick insisted on a table. Danny showed up. Danny is all kinds of wonderful. What a gem of a person. I can't say enough good things about him. Just a great spirit. He was also at both Metallica shows. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, man, Courtesy Diner and the Slinger. Next time I go to the diner, I don't have to get a Slinger. I could try something else. Everything on the menu looked pretty good, and I usually judge breakfast. Like if you mess up breakfast, I don't accept anything else you probably make. So.
Well, next time you're here, we'll go get a bratzel.
Ooh.
It is a brat and a pretzel. Gus's Pretzels. We are on the 4th generation of Gus, and they make all kinds of pretzels. If you're having a fancy party with a number in it, you get a giant Gus's Pretzel. If you just want to go get some lunch, you go down and you get a bratzel. You get a hot dog. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, continue.
So that was breakfast, and then we went record shopping to 2 of the 3 places. And it was pretty damn amazing. We've already checked the vinyl from one. I'm wearing the shirt from one place. I bought souvenirs and vinyl at each place. And what a terrific experience that was, comparable to any of my favorite record stores in the whole country, either here in San Francisco or elsewhere.
Vintage vinyl, I should mention, if you are looking for a records superstore, there you go. When you hear people talking about, oh yeah, I used to get Pink Floyd records for $1 at Goodwill and Led Zeppelin, and no, it's never been that way here, ever. Vintage vinyl, Euclid Records, which we didn't go to, and the Record Exchange, which we did go to, have all kept the flame burning for decades, to the point where I looked at them when I was younger and said, what are you even doing? Turns out they knew, I didn't. I was the idiot.
Yeah, Record Exchange is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, first of all. It's not even, it can barely be called a record store as much as it's a record music fan experience. But
I have no idea what that place is.
It is bizarre and wonderful. But let's talk, I would tell you, Vintage Vinyl, found at vintagevinyl.com and at Vintage Vinyl on all the socials. Somehow, of all the vintage vinyls in America, and there are many, dozens, I'm guessing, they have Vintage Vinyl at vintagevinyl.com.
That's because they did it in 1978. They were calling themselves Vintage in 78. That's crazy.
Well, there was no .com back then, or internet, or social media. But what I will say is that Vintage Vinyl is comparable to Amoeba Records in LA and San Francisco, is comparable to your old Tower Records, your best record store experiences. One of the best record stores I have been to in America. I should have put that in my post. Maybe I'll retroactively go back and add it in, because it's literally a 10 of 10. Price, selection, experience, customer service, vibe, friendship, everything is a win.
I will say their customer service has greatly improved over the years. When I first started going, it was pretty much terrible. But Lawyer Wife said specifically, if you're going to go record shopping, you got to take them to Vintage.
The wife knows. Shout out to my cashier, DJ Crim Dollar Cray, who was incredible.
I have never learned a name of any of the cashiers. So.
Well, I'm a very personal person, and I want to know. Not only was she fun, professional, and the shit, she's cute too. Just throwing that out there.
You want to know why I hate myself?
So you're drinking that? Holy crap! And yes, crap. It's not crap. It's like too citrusy. I don't like hazies.
It's not. It's not crap. It's not our jam.
Someone will love that.
It's very grapefruity and nectarine-y.
And grapefruity is like, who eats grapefruit? Old people, dead people.
Wow. Okay, so talk about the next record store. Or do you want to save this?
No, we're gonna do. We're gonna go all out. This is the recap. Right. This chaser is the recap of Metallica and Keefy's experience in St. Louis.
The greatest city in Missouri.
Yes. Five Finger Death Punch. Why did you shout out Kansas City, Kansas in the concert? Why are you talking about
Kansas City,
the city that lost the Rams?
That's Kansas City, Missouri.
I understand that, but why is he talking about the Chiefs in this city that clearly is bruised over losing the Rams? They didn't all become Chiefs fans, did they? Are they
A lot did.
carpetbaggers? Did
A
they?
lot did. Yeah, a lot
Bastards.
carpet bagged. Well, I mean, we were carpetbaggers when we became Rams fans. So, I mean,
That's also true.
whatever. And Cardinals fans. It's fine. The Cardinals came from Chicago.
That's right. So, Planet Score Records, a completely different animal than vintage vinyl, but awesome. And
My
you're
kid's favorite.
not surprised. I'm going to tell you that it's a little nicer and a little better lit, but it's very comparable to my favorite record store in the Bay Area, which is Thrill House Records, which I gave you a sticker and which I'll be going to for Record Store Black Friday. And so, Planet Score Records, cool owner, cool, I believe that was the owner behind the register, very cool staff, great metal and rock selection, great everything else selection, value price things, very expensive exclusive things. Seems like they had a very good selection of different cuts of things, like the expensive, things. A lot of imports that I was surprised to find, and a lot of live records, like bootleg live records, and a lot of 7 and 12-inch singles for rock and metal that you rarely see anywhere, so except a big superstore. So for a little, I'm gonna say a moderate-sized place, that's a local place, I thought it was fantastic. Notes?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's my favorite sized store. Keefy talks about how great vintage vinyl is, and it is. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disparaging vintage vinyl. Now, you have to remember who Nick is. I'm the king of choice paralysis. I buy my beer at the grocery store, not the beer store, because at the beer store there's 1,000 beers. At the grocery store there's like 400, so it's easier for me. I like to shop at Aldi and Trader Joe's because there's no choice paralysis. You want chicken broth? Okay, low sodium or regular sodium. Those are your choices. I choose regular, by the way, because if it's not salty, what do you even bother with? Anyway, so the smaller size stores are my favorites. There's another store that I was hoping we would be able to get to called Circa Now Records. There's another one called Infinite Spin and Dead Wax Records, which are even smaller. And I love the stores where I can go in and go through the whole store. I can go up to what I do at Record Space. Typically, I go in, I go through the 3 racks of brand new releases. I kind of peruse the metal. I go to the Doors section to see if the Doors record that I need is there. My stupid kid had Record Space, got a copy of the Doors record I need. Her response is, "But Dad, there was another copy." And I'm like, "And it was a repress, and you know it."
See, you seem awfully angry. And don't call your kid stupid. She's great.
No, my kid is not.
I hate almost every kid I encounter, and your kid is delightful. And she didn't want to be delightful, but she is.
My
she
kid
needs
is
to go
amazing.
to Boston University and not Boston College. It sucks. It's a terrible, shitty hockey team, douchey. It's far out of the city to do activities, and it's a terrible place. Don't go there. Go to BU.
Fair enough. Okay, where was I? What are we on about?
So we're talking about Planet Score Records.
Planet Score Records, actually, the first Christmas after I started buying records, I got a gift certificate to go there. And I came home that week with Rory Gallagher's Irish Tour, which is one of the albums I reviewed back when Glacially Musical, the blog, was just me writing up reviews on the CDs I bought. Still have that record, have not gotten rid of it. It's cut out. It's delightful. The people who own the place are connected to Lawyer Wife in some way. I don't know how. Her family has, I mean, her parents, her mom is one of 8. She's one of 26 cousins. It's ridiculous. So basically they are the entirety of St. Louis. They are the Habsburgs of St. Louis, as it were. But great record store, and yes, we do go there frequently, and I'm sure I'm going to find myself there on Sunday, because on the child was given 3 choices. We can go to 1 or 2 record stores Friday evening. We can go to 1 or 2 record stores Saturday morning, because I'm recording with Duncan that afternoon, and then we have some people coming over for hockey outside and some steaks. I got I got a beta test the new projector since my dumbass had my first one stolen before the football championship party for Cool People 2. And, or we could go to every record store on Sunday. Smart kid. She chose Sunday. Slight patience, which I do not show personally. She was patient, and so she got the best deal. Back to you.
Very cool. So what else did we do on Saturday? Then we came home, and you cooked. And we spent a lot of time on this podcast. It's not in the tagline. It's not in the notes. But we spent an inordinate amount of time talking about meat on this podcast.
I am the grandson of farmers, and I still have family members that are farmers. And if you ever watched the Glow TV show,
I did.
The main lady is having dinner with Mark Maron in Las Vegas, and she's eating a steak, and he's like, "Oh, you eat steak?" She's like, "I'm from the Midwest. Steak matters."
I have 2 words to say to the show Glow. Betty Gilpin. Oh my God.
Which one's that?
The blonde. Oh
Okay.
my God. Betty Gilpin, who is like built like Lana Turner or Marilyn Monroe. She's incredible. She's a great actress, and she's incredible looking. I just want to put that out there. She's a beautiful lady.
I hear things.
You definitely could not have seen Glow season 2 without the shower scene. Anyway, which she's beat up from wrestling, and that's like the main purpose of this gratuitous nudity is to show how beat up she is from wrestling. She's all bruised and black and blue, and her body's messed up, but she's also buck naked. It's great. I'm a very simple creature. I like good music, beers, steak, and nudity. Anywho, Nick. It's not a boast to say that Nick is an expert grill man. He's got a union card for grilling meats. And we had a surf and turf skewered dinner as we watched St. Louis Blues victory hockey. And that was wonderful. Nick's a great cook. I thoroughly enjoy. I don't have a lot of meals cooked for me. I amazingly cook for myself. I eat out on occasion, but I really make my own food, and rarely do I get a meal made for me. So it was really a treat, and such a treat to have this incredible dinner made for me. And Allie coming in at the 11th hour with the Fritos, which was like the finisher, the finishing move, and it was perfect. And because I'm kind of a sides guy, also, this is how you get to be this big. If you just do the meat and the fish, like shrimp and steak, you're good. You can probably not put on any weight. But if you do all the sides, like me, it's a lot of carbs. But that's what I do. So it's good to have the Fritos at the end there. And Blues victory. A runaway victory. And then did we go to Magnolia and do Lord of the Rings after that?
Yes,
drunken Lord of the Rings.
After that, the thing about being at Magnolia is a big part of it is we didn't want anybody to think that it was vacant.
No, of course.
So that's, we've worked there, we've done everything over there, and we would spend time and just watch TV over there. So yes, we watched Lord of the Rings 18 million times. But, my wife promised me when I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy that she would watch any samurai trilogy I've chosen.
Okay.
That was before we got married.
There's trilogies of samurai movies beside Kurosawa.
Does it even matter?
We're not talking about American Ninja.
Oh, come on, Joe. I know my name is Joe. Just Joe. Dude, how would you even get in the Army, American Ninja? You don't have a social security number. You don't know how old you are. All you know is some old guy that was Japanese that taught you how to make a fist.
I'm pretty sure, though, that's where George Lucas got the idea in the Han Solo movie. Like, what's your name? Han. Second name? No second name, just Solo. Solo. Like,
no,
that's
no,
how he got it.
No, he said, I'm just alone.
I'm just alone.
I'm alone.
Han Solo.
Yeah, it's like Darth Vader.
I will now call you the father of all the Darths.
It's also, George Lucas also stole quite a bit from the Hidden Fortress by Kurosawa.
Ridiculous.
So you might as well steal from a terrible.
All the lightsaber fights are from Blood in the Snow. Like, he's crazy. Tarantino also stole from Blood in the Snow. And it's also a Trivium album. Anyway, so that was pretty much a perfect day. I'm going to say a perfect day. I know you guys weren't, listen, like, I know you guys weren't doing your best. But you took me in and you treated me really well. And I'm grateful.
And this has nothing to do with you, but you just came in at the absolute worst possible
The
time.
absolute worst weekend to come visit. This shows fell at the worst time in your life. There's no, other than a death, there's no question. And I just suffered I was pretty depressed right up until the trip.
It basically felt the whole weekend like, and again, nothing to do with Keefy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It just felt like I was being, strangled in every part of my body. Just because we had been, the closing of the house was today as we record this, and we signed on the paperwork on Monday as Keefy was here. And just that dread, because it's been such a noose. And it's basically, the pit and the pendulum, you're watching it swing down. That's been the house for the past 6 months. And once we realized we had to sell. Anyway, let's move on to Metallica, because I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. Well, Sunday, let's briefly, what did we do on Sunday? We woke up late-ish. After a very late night on Saturday, we woke up late.
Yeah, we got back about 1.
Yeah, and I didn't go to bed till like 3, but I was up at like 9. And then I've been exhausted all week, by the way. I'm sure you have too, mentally and physically. I've just been trash. So we get up Sunday, and we had some business to do with the old house. And we went to Steve's Hot Dogs, a St. Louis institution. Do you want to riff on Steve's for a second, or you just want to leave it up to my review?
No, you go ahead and take it, because I have spoken about Steve's at length, ad nauseum.
This was one of my signature things I had to do while we were here. I didn't get to do all the things. No museums, didn't have any downtown time to myself, which I should have done and probably will do next time. And I didn't have barbecue, which is like criminal. How much barbecue is my favorite food, and we just ran out of time to go get any. We went to Steve's Hot Dogs. Steve Ewing, formerly or currently of still The Urge, an awesome-ish ska punk metal band from the 90s that I do love, that is St. Louis born and bred. And Steve's Hot Dogs is amazing. Everything about it. The vibe, the food. I didn't even think the cost was too egregious. The portions were huge.
Now, you pay about roughly about $8 a dog.
That's with a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah, it's not just a dog. It's a dog with like a half another meal thrown on top of it.
Wonder Kid got the cheapest food, and she just had a dog with like ketchup.
Yeah, that's all she ever gets.
Yeah, well, it's a kid. She's a kid. Palate is not formed until you're like 35. So, for taste and things. But, and even with you being an amazing chef. And so, yeah, it was an experience. I really did not need 2 dogs there, but I needed to try the St. Louis dog because I needed to compare it to the Shy Dog. And I'm sorry to say the Shy Dog wins by a considerable margin, a full point at least, to maybe 2 whole points over a St. Louis dog. The St. Louis dog is great, but I like the Shy Dog a little more. But everything about the bread. I think I needed to do the pretzel bun, maybe toasted.
I will tell you, I had a pub bratwurst, and what I did not know before we went there on Sunday is that Steve's Hot Dogs only serves G&W Meats bratwursts, and those are the best bratwursts the world will ever know. Jesus Christ. I may never get a hot dog there again. They're so good.
That's saying quite a lot because hot dogs are awesome. And again, my arbitrary grade about these dogs, they're awesome. They're delicious. And then I got the St. Louis classic dog, which was perfect. And then I got the something mac and cheese dog. Gorilla mac and cheese dog.
Which is delicious.
Which is incredibly delicious with fried onions, bacon bits, and mac and cheese smothering the dog. Again, the bread is the thing that brings it down slightly for me. It's just a little too much, just a little too doughy. I know you need the
bread
thick,
is from
delicious.
Vitaly's Bakery.
It's beautiful. It's delicious.
On the hill.
It's soft. It's great, but it's just too much bread for a dog.
They go get it every day.
I get it. I appreciate it.
You have to eat it properly. You got to take it at a 45-degree angle. You go, psh, 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 and it's fun.
Okay. They also have beer there. They also had Saints and Chicago football for some reason. And
Probably because it was a national game. We don't get regional games anymore for some reason.
Tons of musical memorabilia from Steve's career. A lot of Star Wars and nerd stuff everywhere. And probably the most funky and cool mural I have seen in a restaurant in a long time.
I wish you could have seen the 3/4-inch action figure displays he had at the old place, which was on Magnolia, 2 blocks from my house. They were epic.
And then we dropped off the child, and we went downtown to the show. And do you want me to continue? Do you want to tee it up and take some of this, or just me?
Well, again, we tried. This time it was Sunday, so we were able to get down early. We got downtown at about 2:20, 2:30. Found a wonderful parking spot. Even pointed the right way on the wrong way street. So proud of that parking spot. That's the kind of parking spot you would show the baby to let them know that life can be good, that life is not terrible. Here you go. We could have paid $40 to park. And one of the things I should mention, and when you go to anything at the Dome downtown in St. Louis, the Dome should never have been put downtown. As a St. Louis and as somebody who hates the county, who loves the divorce, all that stupid, ridiculous, regionalist crap, the Dome never should have been there. It's too small. It's too compact. There's no great parking places. So and I was actually really nervous about going to these shows because of how hard it is to get out. But we found a great parking spot, and then my plan was to park halfway, or equidistant, as it were, between the pop-up shop and the Dome. Good walk, good life. However, I screwed the pooch on that one. We were about 80-20 rather than 50-50 to the pop-up shop. So Keefy wanted to go to the pop-up shop. I had my new Vans on. I was ready to rock. That's you, buddy.
Fair enough. I also have my relatively new Vans on that I got on my birthday, or right around my birthday for Riot Fest. And so it was a bit of a walk. And honestly, we didn't talk about the show yet Friday. We didn't really talk about the shows yet, but
I figured we'd save that.
Sitting in the nosebleeds, and the hike up to the seats was difficult for me. You're in better shape than me by far, and you were struggling, and I definitely was impaired.
I have exceedingly bad knees.
I have a really bad knee and a bad back, so I'm messed up. I have bone spurs in my lower back that just I can't do anything with them except lose weight, be thinner. And my knee is just chronically bad from when I blew it out photographing I Hate God before the pandemic. Don't blow your knee out and then do drugs with I Hate God, kids. That's my advice. I did the weed. Don't smoke the I Hate God weed. You know how I know this is good? This is the Crosby weed. It was like that. Gorilla Panic, they're coming. That's what they had, the varieties. So, Ted joke. It's permanent. So we walked to the pop-up shop, which was an experience. Nothing I really needed to have. They had an incredible variety of shirts. They had an incredible variety of merch. They did have affordable things, but most of it I felt was priced for Metallica fans, pricey. But the space was beautiful. It was
priced for lower bowl Metallica fans.
You think so? I mean, a $75 bomber jacket and a quilted jacket and a $250 Yeti. Is Yeti a good brand of coolers that it's $250?
My God, yes.
$250 though?
Yes.
Really?
Well, Yeti and Metallica, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's that's what I mean. It's lower. It was priced for lower bowl Metallica.
They had baseball jerseys that look fun, not in my size.
I don't get that at all.
I do. I have a Suicidal Tendencies football jersey that I absolutely love.
I don't get that.
So, anywho, it's like for the size of a wide receiver, but I'm built like a fat fullback. Anyway.
That's redundant.
It is. So, the pop-up shop was fun. And then we went to, I forgot the name of the bar, Jack
Patrick's Bar and Grill.
Jack Patrick's Bar and Grill sounds like an Irish place. To have beers, and we met up with my wonderful friend Zane Zukowski of Metal Insider. Go check out Metal Insider.
The smart play we made was getting 2 buckets of beer right away.
We really should have ate there because
That
We
was the
pounded
stupid
those
play.
beers.
The stupid play was not eating
They
there.
were not impressive beers, but they did the job, and we drank them quickly. And that's
They were
never a
like
good
two.
recipe.
Okay, we got 12 beers for $40.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I was
With
full
tip.
from the hot dog place. I don't know about you, because we
Oh,
also
yeah,
shared
totally.
the fries. The fries were perfect at the hot
Oh,
dog place.
amazing. They didn't always, they've only had fries since they've been at that location, even.
Yeah. And they were great, and it was a great portion for sharing for the three of us, I will say. I think we all had a satisfactory amount of fries.
You should have gotten a pony dog. Or
We
a
said
horseshoe
that
dog.
next time. But, I mean, it's a lot of food, man. I don't need 2 dogs next time I go there. I don't know.
Nobody needs a horseshoe dog. It's like 4
The
dogs worth
flight
of food.
of dogs for $38 is the 30-minute challenge. Now, I'm going to tell you, I probably could do it.
Is it wait, is it like actual full
You have to
dogs?
eat the full flight of dogs. The big, whatever signature dogs are of the place. The pony dog.
Oh. Well, the pony dog, the horseshoe dog is in that?
Yes. I think
Oh,
so.
okay. That's just not even fair.
In 30 minutes, you got to do it. Plus
No.
fries and a drink.
A horseshoe dog is like 1 slinger.
I can do it, though.
Plus.
I can do it, but I shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do any of these. Endurance.
I don't
is-
think you
should die.
can do it. I don't think it's possible.
I can do it. I also would like to do like the $80 or nothing steak, because at the very least, you have the steak.
I do want that.
I think you could.
Because,
do
you know,
an
worst case-
80-ounce steak in an hour?
No, but you know what?
everything.
You can take it home.
That's but like it's free if you can eat it all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, but I can take it home.
If it's cooked well, I bet I can do it. So we went to the bar, hung out with Zanae, just traded some war stories about music journalism. She's great. I think she's great people, good friend of mine. And then we went to the show. We dropped off. Like,
you forgot my story.
What was your story?
My gatekeeping story.
Oh God, yes. Go ahead.
The kid likes to talk about how wife is girl boss, she's gatekeeper, or she's gaslighter, and I'm gatekeeper. So that's the joke. I don't anyway. You know, and I make fun of the kid. You know, like when she's wearing her Pink Floyd shirt. Name 3 Pink Floyds, and her response is the Screaming Abdabs, the Tea Set, the Pink Floyd Sound. Shut up, Dad. Which I don't even know what I don't even know what 3 Pink Floyds is. I mean, I don't know. I've never been.
The judge will also accept the Megadeths.
That's Pink Floyd?
Was the original name of Pink Floyd, the Megadeths.
I did not know that. All right.
Named by Sid Barrett.
Anywho, so I don't even know what 3 Pink Floyd is, but whatever. So I've never been one of those, name 3 songs people. There was a time in my life where I'd get really angry when some hot celebrity would wear a Slayer t-shirt. But now I'm like, hey, Slayer gets $20. $20 is $20. That way they don't got to go out and give some dude a hand job to get $20. Happy. Anyway, so I'm out having a minute and I wear my Mayhem t-shirt. I don't know why I chose to wear it, apart from the fact that it was clean. I like not stinking, anyway. So dude walks up and he's like, oh, cool shirt, man. And I'm like, hey, thanks. Junior's like 25. I swear to God, like 25-year-old. I'm 40 goddamn 7. I'm old. I've seen all the metal bands. I've been there. I've done that. I have been a musical journalist for a long time. And he says to me, and I said, oh, yeah, thanks. I got this shirt. Damn, where did I get it? Oh, yeah, I got it at Hot Topic forever ago. He's like, oh, do you know the band? I'm like, here's what I should have said. Well, yeah, but only the Dead era. Live at Leipzig is one of the greatest records of all time. It's not what I said. Or I could have said, yeah, I do know Mayhem. And in fact, Mayhem knows me when they had to write my name down to put me on the list. So, long story short, basically, this 25-year-old thought he was so much cooler than this dude that's been around the block 100 times. Long story short, don't gatekeep people. Fuck you if you want to gatekeep. Fuck that. Eat your own butt.
Fair enough. And there we are off the rails and decriminalized and Amtrak. But you're not wrong. Yeah. That's just, first of all, don't gatekeep anyone. And if you're a young dude, don't gatekeep an older person that probably will school you on shit. You schnook.
Well, I told him, he's like, yeah, I know him. I covered him on their last tour. He's like, oh, when they came here, oh, Cannibal Corpse? No, that show didn't come here, bro. And he's just like, oh. Yeah. It's like, I got a patch. Yeah, great. You got a patch, okay.
Well, you saw Lords of Chaos?
No, it was Immolation. It
No,
was
I'm talking about the
Mayhem.
movie Lords of Chaos about
Oh,
Mayhem.
of course, yeah.
Okay, so like, Scorpions, you're a poser. They were doing it. They should have gatekeeped Varg out of the whole everything. But anyway, I hate that guy. Mayhem, great band, sketchy history, right? And I know people that worship Dead. It's like, bro,
I gotta tell you,
he was
Dead.
great, but like, calm down.
He's my favorite Mayhem vocalist for what it's worth.
Well, he is the best Mayhem vocalist, and that's because Attila's great, but like, sort of great. Attila is great, like Lord Worm is great in Cryptopsy. He's great, but you could
He's
not
great
live
in
without
a
him.
different. He's a great in a different way.
Yeah, Lord Worm, good album, not my favorite guy. Sorry.
Anyway,
Matt's better.
moving on to the show, but and to do so, we need to back up.
Back up to Friday night, you, me, and the missus, which was great. She's
Correct.
what? Can we talk? I mean, how great is your wife? You got a real keeper there, buddy. She's wonderful on every level. I was desperately trying not to offend or irritate her, because
Good
again,
luck.
you guys are not sure doing your best, and I'm not. I'm me, so I'm a whole thing to consume and understand and get wrapped around. But like,
I mean, how many times do you yell at me every podcast? I do
at least
something.
once?
Yeah, I'm under the. I'm under the craw.
And I'm not
I mean,
married to you.
no, I live under the craw. That's like my. That's like my. That's like my sweet spot.
Just a little outside for Cameron.
Just a little bit in the dick. That's where I'm at. That's just.
Jesus.
Wow. I'm sorry. Is that wrong?
I mean, I don't know. So we're at the show. We go to show Friday night. The missus calls the parking spot. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm never gonna hear the end of that.
You
So
never hear the end of that. Right up the block from the Schnucks and the CVS there. And we had a brief walk to the venue. It was pretty cool with a whole throng of Metallica fans. To a place I had never been before, but you had been before. We passed the Cardinals baseball stadium. We passed the Arch driving. And then went into this venue. And honestly, I thought it was pretty painless to get in. And I didn't even feel like we were searched that well.
no, totally
It seemed
not.
like a very not a pat down. Just take your stuff out of your pocket that's metal, and that was it. And they wanded us, and they're like, "You got a belt on?" I was like, "Yeah." Keep going. You're okay. I was like, Jesus. You got a gun up in the waist. Please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
I'm gonna get political. Please don't make me.
Anywho, so take it away. Talk about the Friday night show. And I don't
To
know if
begin
you want to
with-
do set lists and everything, but we can.
I
have
do.
them open
I
and
do.
ready.
I've got mine. I'm ready to go. To begin with, I have only been before Metallica. I have only purchased or had tickets to the Dome for 8 events in my life. The Dome was created for football. You know, I'm not the biggest NFL fan, as Keefy has mentioned. Even when we had the Rams, I went to a few. I went to nine events, because I went to a Rams game in '98. One of the 3 they won that year. So yay, Nick. I went to 3 Rams games after they were good. So I never saw Kurt Warner play in the 4 games I was there. Lucky Nick. I did see him play in the Arena Football League, however. So big lucky Nick. I also don't remember it, but that's neither here nor there. So when I bought tickets to the Metallica show, I kind of reverted to old scraping by Nick, which is, you know what? Just let me get in the door. Just let me get in. It's fine. So I bought 400 level seats, level section 432, row UU. Just for the record, in that section, it was AABBCC. Mitch Hedberg would not have known what to do because he never learned his AABBCCs. Anyway, I had never been on the 400 level. I had Battlehawk season tickets last year. Thankfully, for the XFL completed the entire season. We got to go to all 5 games. They were great. However, we were downstairs because it was the XFL, not the NFL. I was not prepared for the 75-degree goddamn angle of those seats. So when you have to pee during Pantera and you're like, then you're thinking about the down and then the up, it was awful. Awful, awful, awful. And I will never sit in those seats again. Period. I had to take breaks walking because we were, what, 3, 4 rows literally from the roof. And should mention, no complaints about the seat, no complaints about the view, no complaint, and for the most part, no complaints about our crowd that was near us, except for perhaps Too Far Gone guy, because he was too far gone when he showed up.
We have to talk about that whole.
We'll talk about Too Far Gone guy. Don't worry.
Too Far Gone, Safety Orange, Giant Dude, Hodor, and their friends. Because holy shit, they were a whole vibe.
They were 6 vibes. It was awesome if we were one section over. Yeah, a little squiffy into it. But, so, let's get into the set list. What we learned from Keefy's friend who has a name that I do not know because it's got Z's and A's and L's. What's her name?
Zanae Zakowski. She is the owner of Metal Insider, a very reputable metal website when you're not going to ghostcoldmag.com for all your metal needs.
So, Zendaya. Keefy's friend Zendaya. Sadly, Keefy is not the Peter Parker in this situation.
Wow. Yes, you're right. We are friends only.
Oh, come on, it's funny.
Friends just, and it's fine. She's great people.
She is good people. She was interesting.
She is. She's a Metallica super. Not only is she a great metal journalist and concert photographer, she is a Metallica super fan and has the I Disappear ticket, so she's traveling. She'll be in Detroit this weekend.
I would have thought she'd gotten on my level, but she did not get on my level.
I'm not sure what you mean.
The Lulu level.
She hates Lulu, and righteously so.
I'm like one of the 7. I only know 2 other people that love. I'm sorry, 3 other people that love it. Should point out that of the 3 people that love it, I think all 3 of them are not really Metallica fans, except for me. Anywho, so let's get into the set list. Before we get to the set list, there was a dude with a beard, and you know, I make the jokes that I don't really remember Saturday night after 7 p.m. all that well, and I don't. You know why? Because it's Saturday. Saturday is my let loose and I don't care day.
Saturday, Saturday, Saturday.
It's all right for a fight, except with my wife.
Let's talk about that Flotsam and Jetsam cover of that song. It's awesome.
Let's not. Moving on. The gentleman with the beard was like screaming Too Far Gone. He is scream singing Too Far, and I'm like,
he came in hopped up on something beyond beer. He was very agitated, and I'm not yucking anyone's yum. He was having a ball, but he came into the row like a parade happens downtown. Whoosh! It just exploded. It just happened.
Yes, he was a whole parade,
and he was like screaming, like, "I want to hear, dude. What do you want to hear? This, that, Too Far Gone. That's my favorite song, Too Far Gone." And he was like, Crazy Eddie, like just having a thing.
He was exploding Eddie.
He was double fisting beers too, double fisting, and he was already on something clearly.
He was the parade. You know, Sinister Dane, local St. Louis modern rock band back in the 90s, which is now classic rock apparently. They sang "Where's My Parade?" This dude had it. And what was he parading for? What was he protesting for? A single off the new record. So good luck. Don't really need a whole lot. So shall we get into the set list? I'm going to go ahead and go through it. If you want to drop some knowledge or drop some thoughts on each one, go ahead. What we did learn from Keefy's friend Zendaya, the 4th track of the evening, and I believe it was the 9th track of the evening, were rotating songs. So not only is Metallica playing 2 set lists in each town, they're rotating songs for each town. Unfortunately, they did not play Dirty Window, which they had played in Phoenix, which I would have loved. But they kick the night off with Creeping Death. At this point, Keefy has reached full Metallica climax, and he is done. No matter what they could do nothing wrong other than probably murder a baby.
I don't know. I had jeans on, and it was definitely pre-cum all the way down to my socks from the first riff. Creeping Death's my favorite song. My favorite metal songs, my favorite Metallica songs, my favorite Metallica album. And what did I say at the conclusion of the song? Bum, 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 bum. And what did I say?
I'm ready to go. I'm Keefy.
Thank you. Good night. I've been Keefy. You've been wonderful. Peace out.
All right. Give me a quick pause, please. And then the second track comes on, and it's Harvester of Sorrow. And Harvester of Sorrow it has a rare place from that record because most of that record has been lost to the live tour. So it's cool that something made it. And I made the comment, oh, here's what Harvester would sound like if it had bass in it.
Guy's got jokes. He's got jokes.
I got jokes.
It was a great second song. If I was constructing a set list, you could not have envisioned a better 1-2 punch in terms of just mood, vibe, performance. How perfectly was this song performed, by the way? It was perfect.
Perfection. Super Thunder. Super Thunder. So now we get into track 3. Let's drop a bomb but real quick, I did not watch any videos of this tour. I did not check set lists to speak of on this tour because I didn't want to know. I didn't check set lists until when we were there, which I shouldn't have done. But here's where it gets great. You know, when you think of bands like Metallica, like Kiss, like Aerosmith, these bands that have been touring for 878 years, when you get to hear a song that you've never heard played, it's very exciting. And here they dropped the first one, and we're going to talk about a couple more. They played Holier Than Thou. Not one of my favorite songs. It's in the middle 30 in my brain of the Black Album. But it was never a big concert staple. It wasn't a single. It qualifies by every conceivable metric as a deep cut. Deep cut, track 3, or song 3 on the set list. Thoughts?
It's almost unheard of. Most bands would never have the balls to do this.
Never.
And of all the Black Album songs, and
they would go but Metallica goes through the never.
You are funny. This guy came with jokes tonight, and you need a laugh after the week you've had. So great. I thought it was great. I do love this song. This was a Binge and Purge era, like one of the last singles of the Black Album, 92, 93.
No, it's not a single.
I feel like the Binge and Purge version got a video.
There's no Binge and Purge version.
Yes, there are Binge and Purge videos that were MTV videos from Binge and Purge.
It wasn't on Binge and Purge.
It's 100% on Binge and Purge.
It's not
93. Yeah, buddy.
I'm gonna Google this.
You could. You're gonna be sorry. This time you're wrong. There's literally a scene of James in a locker room playing a hockey stick. Like, I've seen it. You just there's no point in this argument.
No, there's completely a point because it's not on.
Okay.
It's not on that. It's on other things.
Whatever.
It's on Quebec.
Anyway, Holier Than Thou. I enjoyed it thoroughly. You didn't like it too much.
What I appreciated about it was I had never heard it, and if I'm gonna hear a Black Album song, give me one that I've never heard rather than Entering of the Sandman. We'll get back to that, or Nothing Else Matters. We're gonna get back to that in a little while. You know what I mean? You know, we've all heard the Black Album a million squazillion times, and the songs don't always hold up. So it was cool hearing something different. Moving on. Ready?
Ready.
We get to track 4, and they drop The Memory Remains, which has not been seen on this tour so much. Love this song. This is one of my favorite Metallica dirges. And when they dirge, 9 times out of 10, they just fall flat in their face and pull their dicks out and step on them. When they do this song, you can hear the fingers grinding the frets. You can hear those ESP guitars needing a new fretting. And I've heard it played live a couple of times. Love this song. Love this rendition. I don't know that Mr. Trujillo adds anything to it. but he sure as hell doesn't take anything away from it, and it's an abjectly great song. I have said over and over and over again, and I will say till I die, to the point where it's going to be on my tombstone or on my urn that goes on my tombstone. Load and Reload is the greatest Metallica album of all time if you cut it back to 60 minutes.
It never stops.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Because you are Metallica. Memory Remains is a banger. And, again, the best thing about the Load and Reload era is that you actually have a true classic rock rhythm section, which almost doesn't exist before the Black Album in Metallica. Barely. Really barely gets a true rhythm section functioning. And not an insult, just about their songwriting choices.
It's just the way they did it.
Thrash metal, the way they did it. Memory Remains is incredible. And I tell you, like, what I love live is the choice by Kirk to play that melody from the chorus as a solo. So while James is la 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 la, like on the guitar, it's beautiful, man. It's like a Zeppelin moment.
Completely beautiful. Moving on, we get into Lux Eterna. And one of the things about Lars that I don't think ever gets really said enough is he is really just putting his ass out there on this tour. He's doing about, I made the joke earlier. Oh, I got my steps in that night when we walked, the mile or the half mile and back to the pop-up store. Little bro from Denmark, is just running this whole time. And the fact that he can keep up and he can do these amazing double bass beats, great. It's a new song. I'm sure they've been playing it for most of the tour. It was the lead single. It's a great single, and I love this song. Love this song. Love this rendition. No notes. Spray it in my face, please.
Two things. Lars has said, at this stage of his career, he's better at playing the straight-ahead, fast stuff that doesn't change much. Fast beats suit him better, in his opinion.
Yeah, I saw him on night 2.
Yes, well, I'm saying, he says the slowed down halftime stuff, he's prone to mistakes. But anything that's just straight up fast, double kicks, and, stick work, his own assessment is he's excellent. Lux Eterna, fantastic song, great lead single. Not my favorite song on the new album, but awesome to hear live. And I will tell you, I didn't mention this before, just to refresh the audience, if you have not been playing along for the last 5 months, I went to the first night of the tour 4 months ago. And the first night of the tour had a slightly different set list than this. Similar, but slightly different. And it was really cool to hear different tracks. And really rewarded me for going to multiple shows. Now that, I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying that I went to one more show.
This is the same band that during the Reload era said, no, we keep the set list the same, to be fair to everyone. And now they're changing it up.
We keep the set list the same to match the light show and the effects.
Well, they've always had a light show. They've always had. It's not that big of a deal. Guns N' Roses never cared. They don't even have a set list. Maybe they do now. Anyway, moving on. My bearded buddy who was on the Angel Meth. I assume that what he was on was a new thing that was a cross between angel dust and meth.
PCP bath salts mixture.
It's PC bath. Anyway, he's on the Angel Meth. They play Too Far Gone. Great rendition. It's still a new song. Keep in mind that the brand new songs, they've been playing them for this tour, and that is it. And they nail these songs. No notes.
Let's just talk about, the elephant in the room. The second the first note of the song hit, this dude went full Cornholio. You never go full Cornholio. Actually, you do. But he went full Cornholio, and Nick and
I would actually make the argument that he went double Cornholio.
At this point in the set list, Allie was tired of being between the two of us and having us yell over to each other. I don't usually... also, I never talk during shows or movies unless I'm with a bestie. So take it as a compliment. I don't ever talk during a show.
Oh, I talk during everything.
I'm mute. Well, I can't help but talk during everything because this is my whole, main stasis.
I'm professionally charming.
Yeah, but I wish I could put it that way, but I can't for myself. But by this time she had moved, split us, stopped splitting the pole, and we sat next to each other, and we laughed uncontrollably for the first whole minute. Missed the first verse. just cackling away at this dude.
Maybe it wasn't good. We don't know.
You can't appreciate how strong this guy's reaction was that he was right, that they played this song and he got
And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
nuts.
This is my note. I said no notes, but here's my note. This dude had that kind of reaction to a brand new song. Wow. Never had that. I envy that.
I forgot what draft it was in the NFL when the Jets were terrible. Oh, wait. What are we talking about every year? When the Jets were terrible for a long time and they had a very high draft pick, and they drafted Marvin Jones, the linebacker from Florida State University, and my best friend at the time was so overwhelmed and excited, he pumped his fist and punched me out.
I'm going to point out, we need to keep moving.
Fair enough, go.
All right. Oh, shoot.
That's what that guy's reaction was like.
We went so long that my phone logged back up. Next, we move into the Kirk Rob Doodle. I'm just going to take all this. You don't need to say anything on this one. I know you're not a big fan. He talks about how we were going to name this Chili Relleno Burrito, but in St. Louis, who can find a Chili Relleno? You motherfucker. Bro.
It's just ignorance. He was trying to be funny. Don't pick on him.
We have 3 little Mexicos. Tenemos 3 Mexiquitos. Every other week, I go to the Mexican grocery store near my office. They don't even speak to me in English. I respond in Spanish. We have anyway. Whatever. These songs give you a chance to pee. I said it.
This is when Lars takes a break. James smokes a cigar or something. They take a pee break. But I don't need these at any show. They're not needed.
No one does. I would rather have a traditional Kirk solo, as I've never seen one. Never gotten one. I started going to Metallica shows when he stopped that, which was the Load tour. Great stage, I might add. So moving on, we get into Classic Town, Fade to Black, and here's where it gets weird for Nick. Kirk apparently has retired his classic Les Paul Custom with the EMG pickups. He has retired that in favor of Greenie, and the fact that he tours Greenie will never stop being like, bro, what in the fudge are you doing? You should not do this. Great guitar, amazing guitar. It's a Wednesday guitar. My Les Paul buddies know what I mean. Amazing sound. And I've seen him now do it twice with Nothing Else Matters, back in St. Louis and Busch Stadium, and of course now at the Trans World, or the Dome at the America Center. I can't remember what these fucking things are called anymore. The Dome downtown. Great track. Perfection. No. And James played the acoustic guitar, which I prefer him playing the electric in the live version. The last time I saw him, there was an issue, and he actually broke the acoustic because it didn't work. Said, "Have you seen Spinal Tap?" You're seeing it now. But this particular rendition of the track, amazing. Love this song. He stops it in the middle, gives a speech on suicide. I love that, and I don't love that. You know, you can do it before, you can do it after, and it makes more sense because the da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na is like the greatest. That is the best Metallica riff, period.
The best riff they stole from Diamond Head. But anyway,
fuck Diamond Head.
Don't fuck Diamond Head. We need Diamond Head. We have no Am I Evil or Fade to Black without Diamond Head.
So we don't need them now.
And Helpless and a bunch of other things.
Continue.
May I cut in? You're 100% right. It's just a little too long. It's a little too long. Tighten it up. I respect it. I love that he's talking about it. This guy's got a lot of heavy shit on his mind. I think he's not doing great, to be honest. He played great. He sounded great. He felt great. You are great, but it seemed like he may not be that great.
There's something happening.
Something going on with him. They're going away soon. This is it. Great song.
Hold on to that. Let's rush a little bit.
We have a whole nother show to do.
Yeah, I know we got to rush. So let's move on to Shadows Follow. Another new track, great song, no notes.
Yeah, it was great to hear. Very punky. I like it.
Next song is Orion, which is a top-notch, amazing Instrumental.
You weren't that happy with it.
I love
You made
instrumental,
a
but
visible face. I noted that you made a visible face
was it
during these next bunch of songs you didn't like.
was it this one?
Absolutely did not like it.
Yeah, I don't need it. I don't need an instrumental during a concert. I get why they did it. Anyway, thoughts.
Tribute to Cliff exists in every show. This is it. This is that moment.
The last time I saw them, Rob played all of Anesthesia. I would rather have that. Moving on. Nothing Else Matters. The worst song of the weekend.
The worst song, the worst performed song.
Performed.
Both? No, I'm saying both.
No.
Both. Not a good. Not. I don't want to steal your thunder, but like this was not good.
It was bad. They just. I mean, regardless of how you feel about the song, you would walk away from it hating it if this was the first time you heard it.
Metallica fumbles. We're going the other way. Picked up by the opposing team. Recovered by the enemy. Like literally.
This is a fumble on the opposing team's 2, and they ran it back.
They really. I don't know why. It just wasn't performed well. Sorry
they missed. Moving on. Next we get to Sad But True, and here's where I get to my real problem with James Hetfield in 2023. He has become Paul Stanley. I have this intro on 3 live records. Wonderful performance, but come on.
Hey,
be better. Be better than Paul Stanley. You're James Hetfield.
Hey, Nick. Nick.
What?
Do you want heavy?
Shut up.
Metallica gives you heaven. I will tell you this.
We've all heard it.
Let me jump in and say one thing about, like, just a quick thing about James. For the
floor.
whole weekend, just really quick. I don't love his yelping up to high notes as much anymore, but I will tell you that his middle range and his occasional chesty is great. He's got like almost a guttural going on, not quite a death metal, but like
he is aging
good.
really well, and he is adjusting to his age in a very wise manner. Paul Stanley, looking at you.
Well, they're not playing much of this stuff in the original keys anymore. And that's the main
no.
You can't sing in the key of E anymore.
No, once they went to E flat, everything became E flat at best.
Is it safe to say you did not enjoy these 3 songs? Sad But True was a banger, and it was great. But just other than the
I enjoyed it, but it's just I've had it. I've had enough. Yeah. You know, it's if you give me 3 Steve's hot dogs, I might get through 1.5.
It's too many.
Right. Next, we move on to Day That Never Comes. Not one of my favorite tracks off that record. In fact, probably one of my least favorites, but it is the only song off of Death Magnetic I've ever heard live. This was the first time. I did not go to the Death Magnetic show. Great performance, great everything. I thought it was sold out, and it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't. And Machine Head and Lamb of God opened that tour, which was amazing.
I've seen them both already. I've seen them both like multiple times.
So yeah, Day That Never Comes was great. I kind of, Metallica, in between each song, they do these custom interludes now. And sometimes the song is telegraphed, and sometimes we couldn't tell what it was going to be till the first notes hit. And I thought it was I knew that I had a gut feeling they were going to play it. They did it when I saw them, and it's a great track. And you know what? It's almost a comeback metal track for Metallica. After Saint Anger, that's not good to me at all. I find that this is a more classic sounding composition.
Just gonna say this, and then I'm gonna move on the set. Death Magnetic is one of the best back 9 albums of any artist ever. That album is amazing. It is better than the next 2 that come after it. No notes. I won't take any notes. Moving on to Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Great track. The only track off of Hardwired we got this evening.
No complaints. Great song. Great. Just works as an opener. I've seen him use it as a closer. It does work very well late in the set. And again, Lars likes to play fast.
Next, we get into Fuel, and as I drive an electric car, I will jam this song unironically because it's great.
We finally got the pyro. We didn't talk about the inverted Mobius strip of the stage, the incredible light and sound.
We have talked about all the pyro so far.
The sound was great. We were directly in front of a speaker, and I think we had a great sonic experience.
Spectacular.
And this was the only pyro of the night this show, and it was fantastic.
No Notes. Great track. Great song. Probably the best song off of Reload, honestly. So they did that. They followed up with Seek and Destroy. We walk out. They play Master of Puppets. I'm going to go with they're amazing. But
Yeah, I mean, what? Listen, I'm just tired of Seek and Destroy. They're not really doing the 20-minute version anymore. But we had said that at the encore ish, there was really no encore. But we had established we were going to beat the crowd out because it was quite a heavy crowd that first night, especially. And my go-to move is to leave joining encore. But Seek and Destroy, don't really need to hear it anymore. Love it. I was a huge fan of it before it was such a popular song. It's kind of an underground song until after the Black Album. And Master of Puppets, what can you say? It's the best thrash metal song of all time, period. Full stop.
I can play the intro riff, Night 2. They bust out with Whiplash, Perfection.
You want to talk about your very poignant, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll on tape montage plus Ecstasy of Gold from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, I'm just going to point out, just do one, don't do two.
It's like 20 minutes for the two of them, 15 minutes for the two of them. It's egregious.
It's a lot. It's a long time. It is egregious.
But yes, go ahead. Acting like a maniac. Whiplash.
Is not egregious. It's 3.5 minutes. James still loves this song. He fell out of love with it in the 90s. Let Jason sing it. Glad to hear James singing it again. Thoughts?
I gave him. It's perfect. Great to hear a Kill 'Em All song right out of the gate. Love it.
Fair enough.
Love it.
Moving on. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Metal Perfection. Anybody who says anything against this, I hate you.
I have covered this song probably 1,000 times, and I played it correctly twice. I love this song. It's great. I never get tired. This is one of those I never get tired of.
Correct. And as we learned from Zendaya, song 4 is a rotator. In Phoenix, they played.
Please call her Zene.
I always forget. I'm sorry. As we learned from Zene, the owner of Metal Insider, a wonderful, wonderful woman. Everyone gets a nickname who knows me, whom I know. Song 4 is a rotator. In Phoenix, they had played Dirty Window. In St. Louis, they played King Nothing. I would have much rather had Dirty Window because I had never heard Dirty Window, and that's what I want. I want new songs. But their version of King Nothing, apart from Kurt kind of screwing up the intro a hair, which doesn't matter because it's just, the intro is just noise anyway. Great version, great attempt. No notes.
No, King Nothing is the Enter Sandman Part 2. It is fantastic. Great tempo, great bass line, great solo, great crowd participation. People went nuts when this song came on. Also, fantastic mood lighting. I mentioned this in the car ride at one point during the weekend, where the lighting matched the lyrics. This is next level entertainment.
That's Metallica. Moving forward, we then dropped the title track, 72 Seasons, No Notes, followed by Darkness Had a Sun. Again, 2 new tracks in a row, both played expertly, heavily, wonderfully.
72 Seasons, great to hear it live. And Darkness Had a Sun, my favorite song on 72 Seasons. Still hoping for that wide crowd participation on the chorus is so epic, but it was nice to hear it, and it was great to hear live.
Next, we get into the Kirk and Bob little doodle. I did not write down the name. It was St. Louis Freeze.
And it sucks.
Because they're terrified of how cold it was. It was 62. The low was 62 this weekend. Anywho, he did mention that he found a chili relleno in St. Louis, so good work. Really difficult to find. Moving on into the next track, because I don't want to punch him in the cock too much on those. We get into Welcome Home Sanitarium, an abject classic, one of the several track 4 ballads in the Metallica catalog. No notes.
Great to hear them do the full version again, because there was a period of time where they used to cut it in half. Same thing with Master, used to cut it in half.
Did they? I did not know that.
It was bad. Did not like it. They were trying to get more songs in. It's like, just play the damn song or don't play it. So
right.
I have
do not cut a song in half. Cut it out. Cut it out or cut it in.
Shout out to Curtis Dunlap, my hetero life mate, who really made me a Metallica fan, who went with me to the first show of the tour, and we grew up jamming Metallica in his basement, including Welcome Home.
Next, we move on into You Must Burn, another great track from 72 Seasons. And 72 Seasons it's not quite as good as Death Magnetic in my brain. It is better than Hardwired. But the fact that we have three really good to great records at the end, I mean, not even the back nine. I think even calling it the back nine would be like really generous. We're talking about the back three. Another wonderful, wonderful performance.
Fair enough. Yeah, fantastic. Great. These new songs hold up live very well, by the way.
Very well. Very well. I feel like the last three records have had a much bigger live feel, a far less overdubbed feel. If there was anything Saint Anger did that we can appreciate, less overdubs, less work, less turd polishing in the studio, which creates for a better live experience. Moving on, we get into Call of Cthulhu. Again, instrumental. They've been, even though they've been rotating the set list, they've been doing the same sorts of songs in the same places. Another great instrumental. I don't want them. I get why they do it. James is the one that has been pulling back on the tours, pulling back on the shows. He needs his rest.
How good, though, was the visuals match with this instrumental performance? And I'm going to tell you, they nailed it.
Completely.
Nailed it.
No, amazing.
Three solos,
amazing.
3 guitar solos. They were flawless. Lars was flawless. They jam. They seem to be vibing. I think they enjoy these songs.
I felt like they were really drinking this in for some reason.
It's the end.
You spoiled the foreshadowing. Moving on into the next track. If you were looking for Captain Surprise and the Who Knows Who These Guys Are gang, here we go. I've seen Metallica multiple times. This is my 5th time seeing them, which don't. I'm looking at you in the pink shirt with the vintage vinyl logo. Don't. It's the Midwest. I don't see a lot of bands a whole lot of times. So,
when privileged, spoiled person from the East Coast, and I had no love life and a band, 2 jobs, and a little bit of college in the 90s, and all I did was go to Metallica shows, literally every year. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I said was say nothing. That was a lot more than nothing.
Oh, sorry. Were you talking? I didn't hear you over my talking.
You motherfucker. Anyway, so I've seen them 5 times. In my concert-going life, they've only come here 8 times. 92, didn't go. 94, didn't go. 6 went. 8 went. It's so when I get to hear something new, I'm excited. Sanitarium, not new. You Must Burn, great. Cthulhu, great. But here's where they drop the bomb. I want the deep cuts. I want the song where I'm the guy singing. They went so deep I didn't know the words. No Leaf Clover! What the fuck? Keefy?
So I like hearing this. I originally
loved
did
it.
not like this and Minus Human off of S&M. I don't like S&M compared to S&M 2, but those 2 originals end up holding up over years. And now I've gotten to hear No Leaf Clover several times live, and it's really good. And James loves this song. He loves it. You could tell when he performs it how important it is to him. It's literally a turning point in his lyrics, actually, in his career.
Thrilled. I'm thrilled that I got something that, if there was anything I would have expected Merciful Fate medley first over this track.
I want them to do, like I said, bring back So What, and bring back Bread Fan, and bring back something. So really surprise me with one of those. That would be
no. I've heard you bring back bring back nothing.
How about Astronomy? Which
Okay.
I've never done that I know. Anyway,
Spectacular.
Yeah,
New
No Leaf
tradition.
Clover, great. Then another song you didn't like,
Nowhere else. No. What is it called?
Wherever I May Roam. Nick
Oh,
hates this song
oh, it's
and was like
bathroom. It's
hoping they
bathroom.
wouldn't play it.
It's bathroom break.
He went to go pee and he came right back.
Walked slowly up the stairs at the 75-degree angle because my knees hurt and I'm old.
People love this song, and the crowd reaction was splendiferous.
Yeah, I'm not one of them. I don't need this song. I've heard it at every Metallica show I've been to. Yay! Except for Friday.
Right.
What I love about this 2-set show is I don't get all the Black albums whacked in my face.
Fair enough. I've seen the Black Album performed completely twice.
Fuck me, I would not go to that show.
Well, I mean, I didn't know it was going to happen until it happened.
And then what do? You got nothing. Anyway, moving on, we get a new Moth into Flame. Not one of my favorites from that particular record. I also hate the fact that it's like, oh, Lady Gaga vocals, whatever.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I love that they did it with her. I love that they.
I
just
do,
didn't come
but
out
you know
right,
what? I
'cause they
don't
shouldn't
want to
have did
hear
it.
them. I don't want to hear them talking about it every time I hear them play
do an
it.
award show, Metallica, or any kind of television broadcast. That's what the mistake was. Good song. Again, the same part. You said something earlier. You touched on this. There's like sort of repeat vibes. There was 3 songs in a row that were kind of a dip. Friday. These are the 3 songs that were sort of a weird plateau on Sunday.
Next, we move on into Blackened, one of my favorite Metallica songs. First time I heard him play it live. No notes. Thank you.
I got to see Nick headbang in all his glory for this song. This was epic. Even at the end of the weekend, where we were pretty subdued on Sunday compared to Friday, and certainly didn't have the gut-busting laughter. By the way, bearded Shadows Follow guy was there on Sunday, and he was very subdued and not as high as he was on Friday. But I thought this was amazing, and they did apparently do a bit of the Outlaw Torn, and I was like, are they going to play the Outlaw Torn? We were freaking out for a second, like they were going to play it. It really felt like they were going to do it. And then they didn't.
They did not. So, I should point out, yes, I did headbang a lot this weekend, and I'm extraordinarily subdued at concerts. A friend of mine once yelled at me at an Obsessed show that I was covering because I was doing this, crossed my arms the whole night. He was like, Nick, you're so stoic. Do something. I did not. And I don't. Unless you really get me. Next, we move on into Whiskey in the Jarro. One of us happy, Keefy sad. Another track.
Like I don't think that's fair, but go ahead.
Another track I have never heard live. Thank you, Metallica. No notes.
Cover song performed
Terrible
well.
live.
Okay, cover song performed well to their abilities. They love Thin Lizzy. I love Thin Lizzy. You know, we did a Thin Lizzy series because of my love of Thin Lizzy. We spent a whole episode talking about this single and how this was the turning point in Thin Lizzy's career. The money goes to Philo's kids and ex-wives. You know, like, great. Pay tribute to your heroes and make them wealthy because you're Metallica. Because you're Metallica. But, like, I can live without this cover, and there are so many better Thin Lizzy songs that never get talked about, and they did this one. It does fit them. It does fit them, and James particularly loves this song for whatever reason.
Love this song. It's a great song.
It is a great song. I just couldn't do without it.
Also, it was a karaoke jam of mine once I got to a minimum of 3 beers.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Moving on into one Metallica staple, finishing off the night with Sandman, Metallica staple, and by that time I was already gone.
We were too far gone to the exits. We heard most of one, and it was terrific, right? Mm-hmm. Terrific. Sounds terrific. And then we had made a pact again to leave before the encore. We knew it was Enter Sandman, and I don't need to hear this song ever again. Angel of Death, Symphony of Destruction, Paranoid.
In fact, Keefy would not let me play the Black Album on Friday.
Is that fair? Is that right?
You said, well, by not letting me, what I mean is Keefy said we don't need it. And I said, oh, thank Christ.
Right.
And I put it away. And then Keefy said, I meant that song. And I meant, fuck you.
Jesus. So caustic.
Got to take you down that peg you're on.
I guess. Let me ask you a series of questions, and we can end this thing quickly.
Real quick before you do that, first off, I heard out of 32 tracks, 14 songs I had never heard Metallica play live. Holy shit balls!
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing for any this is not
Anyone.
your first rodeo.
No, it's my fifth show.
Yeah, so and you got to hear this many new songs on a new album tour, but still a whole bunch of new stuff and a whole bunch of stuff
Only 6 of them were new songs.
Deep cuts. I'm going to tell you, I saw Megadeth a few weeks ago. They played almost no deep cuts. A couple of new ones, but no deep cuts. So, I mean, you got to really tip your hat to these guys. The show is incredible, visually and audibly. The sound was amazing. They won, they were getting, plaudits all over Europe. This is the same rig they used in Europe outdoors. And a lot of these shows, the Dome, I think, is the only indoor show of the whole tour.
Ford Field is indoor.
Sort of. It has a roof that comes open. And I think the weather's going to be decent in Detroit, and they're going to keep it open. It's cool, but not cold. Which night did you think was better?
No.
No?
No.
No answer.
No.
I'm gonna answer. I think night 2 was actually the better night of the 2 nights, even though my favorite songs were on night 1.
Night 2 had stronger curveballs.
For sure. Oh, we were so surprised how much we were just beside ourselves with some of these song choices.
But I mean, in terms of that, I mean,
you'll never get a better 1, 2, 3 at this point in their career than Whiplash, Bell Tolls, and Ride. That's
True.
unheard of.
And Ride the Lightning is one of my absolute favorite Metallica songs too.
Yeah.
Finally heard it live. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I had a feeling we were going to hear it. I play a lot from Ride the Lightning, which is got an anniversary next year, and a lot from a couple of tracks from the first record, which is 40 years old this year. So I mean, for some 40-year-old songs and a 43-year-old band,
I liked hearing less songs off the first record, but man, it would have been cool if we'd heard Metal Militia or Phantom Lord or Jump in the Fire.
They just don't do them. They did them for the 40th. They just don't do them that much anymore.
I know. I'm just saying what I would rather have versus what I got. I've heard Seek and Destroy.
How about when did we hear Motor Breath last?
I've never heard it.
I have. Who's the MVP of the Metallica weekend?
Honestly, probably Lars.
He was terrific, except for Nothing Else Matters, which they were all bad. But he also was not.
Nothing Else Matters is that's a mulligan for all 4.
Really bad.
Terrible.
You agree?
Awful. That is the worst Metallica performance of any song I've ever seen, including Fade to Black, where James Hetfield smashed his guitar because it was not right.
Shit. I think I've seen a couple of other performances that were worse than that, but this is
I've been
farted their way
lucky
through it
on
until
performances.
I've seen them fart their way through a track until they fixed it, but
they never fixed it.
I've seen them at the festival that wasn't their show where the sound was bad and they were trying to adjust to the monitors or something, and they just it sucked. They sucked for the first few songs. That's happened. And then my last question. So we know that they set the record for the Dome for 2 shows, over 100,000 tickets sold. Definitely night 1 was the bigger crowd. Clearly, Pantera was the best opener of any of the openers.
Very true.
You said you were pleasantly surprised by Wolfie and Mammoth WVH.
Correct.
And we both agreed that both Ice Nine Kills, who I go way back with, and Five Finger Death Punch, I understand that they have their fans, but they were not a good match for this crowd or Metallica.
Their fans were not at the show.
Their fans were definitely not here. I don't know. I mean, there were definitely some Death Punch fans who knew the stuff because they played all their big jams and people were singing along, and there was a weird thing at one time with the lighters. People know their material. They're more popular than you know. All those the bands on that label, Bad Wolves, Asking Alexandria, they're all hit-making modern rock, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but they're modern butt rock.
Right. Everything but rock. Or nothing but rock. Sorry, nothing but rock. WROK.
It's a hard question because, overall, Friday was better.
Many more people came from Pantera. And Pantera was excellent. We didn't even talk about them. They were excellent.
No, I'm just Pantera was 8 out of 10. Zach, and the weird part, this is where I'm going to say the weirdest thing I've said all day. Zach was the weak link.
It's hard to believe.
It makes no sense. It's nonsensical.
I just think he's not trying to. Again, he said from the outset he was not.
I know. We all know.
By doing it his way and pinch harmonics constantly.
Look,
it's not as bad as it could be because I thought he was going to do what he does.
I didn't say it was bad.
It's just not.
It's not Pantera.
Well, that's anyway. But
it's not. Let me rephrase. It's not Pantera on record.
If it would it be? Well, they're dead. Like their guys are dead. What do you want?
I know they're dead.
What do you want? Cliff is dead. They can never play Anesthesia.
I want nobody to be dead. I want all of us to have immortality. They did Orion
and Call of Cthulhu, which are 2 songs he co-wrote, and he's dead.
I know.
And he's dead a long time. And Jason was in the band quadruple the amount of time, quintuple the amount of time that Cliff was in, and I love Cliff. And he was in the band way shorter. And Robert has now been in the band longer than both those guys. And soon
combined.
to be longer combined. And he has just now gotten a writing credit. Hard to believe.
Let's move on.
That's not much to say. I'm not trying to be negative, but like...
if I'm going to say...
Phil and Rex have a right to be Pantera. I think you got to let it go.
They
didn't die. They're still here.
That's not what I said.
And I'm saying it. I'm saying
okay, fair enough.
That. And honestly, if Vinny really wanted them to never be Pantera ever again, he could have meant that. He could have made that happen with a $800 to his lawyer and an afternoon of signing signatures. That's it.
Okay.
He chose not to. It's Vinny's fault. If you're mad, be mad at Vinny. Rest in peace, Vinny. But also be mad at Vinny.
However, if you are mad, you didn't see the show.
Show was great, and let's face it, the majority of the show had never seen Pantera before. Everybody knew Walk, though.
I had actually since you brought it up, now I got to bring this up.
Another song I don't ever need to see live. It's been covered badly by every band.
Stop it. Stop it.
Just saying.
Stop it. Stop. I had actually forgotten how much I love Pantera. And the whole weekend when we were shopping at record stores, I'm like holding Pantera records going, I love you. I love you. Except for when I heard Zakk Wylde fuck up A New Level. I'm done.
Fuck it up.
He didn't hit the break. He never hit the breakdown right. The do 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 do. He never hit it.
Okay, I guess. I think the guitar sounded very muddy for Pantera, like just a big bass and guitar mud, like not very mixed well.
Very few people have that kind of sound that Dimebag did that was so cutting.
A New Level is my favorite Pantera song, by the way, and I love that they opened with it. And how good was that set list? Set list was great.
Spectacular.
And I saw a headline show this year, and it was like just a few more songs. They played an hour and 10 minutes. 5 Finger Death Punch, mercifully, only 55 minutes.
55 too many?
55, 50, 54, 59 more than I needed. But, I mean, like, I understand why they're big. They're just, they're Pantera from Wish. When you order Pantera from Wish, you get 5 Finger Death Punch.
Wow, I wanted to see them. I've always wanted to see them. And you know what? It was not good. But you know what? Let's call this a day. I've got to pee, and the second period is going to start without me.
Amazing. I do want to just mention that as I'm here listening to you, I was checking comments on the Ghost Cult because the comment section's blowing up, and somebody just left a comment on your voiceover for this week for the New Music Friday, and it was like, I love the dude calling out these albums. He rules.
Yay! If only they heard my real voice.
Validation.
Okay, real quick.
You can wrap it up, and then which one of us takes it home? Me, you? I don't remember.
I'm going to start off with, this is not my real voice. I changed my voice several years ago to give myself a sexier, Midwestern, baritone timbre. It's not my voice. My real voice is tenor, but I've worked so hard, I can't do the tenor anymore. Anyway, wrap it up. Metallica has created a thing. You know, they're always first. They are the Simpsons of heavy metal. They are the Star Wars of heavy metal. Even if you don't like cartoons, you love The Simpsons. If you don't love sci-fi, you love Metallica. And they continually innovate, unlike The Simpsons, who need to stop. I genuinely believe we are at the end of the Metallica arc. They have grown from angry young men into wizened old men. Every year, their tours get shorter and shorter and shorter. This year, we had 14 dates over 7 cities. Next year, we get 22 dates over 11 cities. If you have the opportunity, do not miss it. This feels like finality in a way where I thought they weren't going to come back after 2017, and they did, and I'm thankful. I'm super thankful. However, there's a greater finality this time than last time. I'm getting serious Rush farewell vibes where they didn't announce it as a farewell. So you went or you didn't. This guy didn't. Wasn't a Rush fan at the time. What do you want? So
I also saw Rush so many times live, and I remember that tour, and I was like the Rush 40, and I didn't go, and I was like, I'll go next year. There's no next year. Let me ask you one last question.
Hit me.
Are you done with seeing Metallica live? Would you travel next year to go see them with me if I offered you a free ticket?
Is there a Dutch rudder involved?
I mean, there's always you and me. There's a Dutch rudder involved always.
Then yes.
It might not be a Nick and solo endeavor. It might be like a group endeavor. So maybe that's not the right vibe for you. But like I'm
like a circle. Are we talking about like a circle jerk Dutch rudder?
We're gonna
that would be the most epic Dutch rudder of all time.
Biscuit as Hero of the Day plays, and I cut my own throat at the end.
Wow. I would go. Yes, I would consider going to Chicago next year.
I'm thinking about Chicago or Boston.
Chicago is a lot more likely for me because then I can get right a train.
It's closer. Oh,
I love trains. I mean, I love trains.
Trains rule. I got to see how it matches up. I think that all the dates except Mexico and Seattle are in August, so that's tight for me.
Well, let's talk about that another time.
We'll talk about it in the spring.
We have talked about all of this for a long time. Let's wrap this shit up.
Take it home, Daddy.
I thought you were taking it home. I'll take it home.
I mean, did I do the last one? I don't remember.
I don't care. I'm taking it home. I demand it now. Thank you, Keefy, for, coming out to see me. Thank you for enjoying my love seat without me on it. Thank you for the record you purchased me, which we'll discuss at a future time when everyone else is forgotten. Thank you, listeners, for endeavoring to deal with this bullshit that we spit out weekly. We are a small podcast. We are not on a giant network. We want to be giant. We want to crush everyone. Who is our PR firm? You. Please give us a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment. Interaction crushes the algorithm. We can say nothing more. Interact with us via the podcast. Interact with us via social media. You can catch Keefy at ghostcultmag.com, where the greatest heavy metal journalism is made, especially when he asked me to write. You can catch Keefy at ghostcultmag everywhere, because Keefy is on point with social media. I am Nick Cameron. I am Glacially Musical. You can catch me on Twitter at Nick_NO_C NIK_NO_C. You can catch me on Threads at Glacially_musical. Also on Instagram. You can catch me on Blue Sky at Glacially Musical. You know what? Just Google Glacially Musical. It's probably I'm gonna come up, I assume. Get us on all the socials. Interact with the podcast. Interact with the YouTubes. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to all the ridiculous bullshit we have spewed about Metallica, about St. Louis, about slingers, about Dutch rudders, about all of it. As we say every week, this is the Glacially Musical podcast. It does not play in Peoria, and neither does Metallica, because they outgrew you, you fucking country bitches.
St. Louis rules. That's all I'll say.